Dr. Horn.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year blessings to you all. I'm Rolanda Horn. I'm the Quality Enhancement Plan Coordinator for Alabama State University. And for those of you who are new to higher education or who are new to ASU, we are required by SAC-COC, our accreditation agency, to develop and implement a QEP or quality enhancement plan that addresses student learning and student success. That's reviewed during our reaffirmation process. So thanks to the amazing faculty and staff here at ASU, we were able to develop it and successfully implement it during the fall semester of 2020. Reminding you that that was in the midst of COVID-19 and the campus shutdown. So today I'm going to provide a brief overview of all of the results of the data that we collected during our first year of implementation. And please note that there's going to be a annual impact report that will be available to the campus community in the next several weeks. So I want to take an opportunity to introduce the staff for our Quality Enhancement Plan, those who work alongside of me, Mr. George Williams and Mr. Ray Green, who are both assessment specialists and provide support to our QEP, ranging from faculty development to data collection. And I'm very appreciative and grateful for the support that they provide to the QEP as we work to achieve our goals and our objectives. Next slide, please. So the mission of our QEP was developed to enhance the student success culture here at ASU for our first-time, full-time students. We want to engage them in academic and non-academic experiences so they can develop the skills and the relationships that they need to support their growth as students and their development as students, as well as support them in their professional careers. Next slide, please. So our QEP has 3 goals. The first one deals with persistence. We want our students to be equipped and motivated to persist or continue their education semester after semester until graduation. We want them to begin and we want them to end here at ASU. Number 2 is skill development. We want to provide our students with the skills that they need to be successful as students, as well as the skills that they need to be successful in their careers after graduation. And number 3 deals with student satisfaction. We want our students to have a satisfying first year experience here at Alabama State University. Next slide, please. So here's a snapshot of the demographics related to our first year of implementation. During the fall semester 2020, we had a total of 753 students enrolled in our first year experience class. And for the spring semester 2021, we had a total of 296 students enrolled in our English 1 through 32 course. These courses were the courses that were chosen by which we would implement our QEP initiatives along with English 130 and 131. Next slide, please. So we have 4 outcomes, and again, I'm going to briefly go over the results. There's so much that can be said about each one of our outcomes and actually what was done, but I'll give you a brief overview of them. Our first outcome, we wanted our students to become holistically engaged in their college experience by participating in co-curricular and curricular activities during their first year. So there were 4 targets accompanied by activities that we used to measure this outcome. We met 1 of the 4 targets. 2 of them we believe were impacted significantly by COVID-19. 1 of them we did not implement, and I will talk about that a little bit later on in the presentation. Our first target, we wanted 70% of our first year students to attend at least 8 co-curricular and curricular activities during the fall semester. And the data shows that less than 1% of our students who were enrolled in our first year experience course actually participated in those activities. Now, there are many things that we believe that impacted the participation rates, including, again, COVID-19 and our students possibly being, burned out with the learning environment, virtual learning environment, trying to get used to learning in a virtual environment, as well as students and instructors learning to effectively navigate through the LMS system, Blackboard, to access those virtual links that they needed and that were required to complete those assignments, remembering that we were not here on campus and all of our activities had to go virtual. But we addressed this during our faculty our faculty professional development session at the beginning of our second year of implementation. Faculty participated in a virtual professional development session that dealt with motivating students to learn in an online environment. Again, also we redesigned the area of Blackboard where we house the virtual links to make it easier for students to navigate and access. So we're hoping that the data from the second year of implementation is moving upward, and so we'll look at it when we analyze it at the end of this year. Next slide, please. Outcome number 2, we want our students to demonstrate enhanced reflective writing skills. For our first year students in the orientation first year experience course, we wanted to see 50% of our students receive a score of 3 or better on their reflective writing assignments. The data showed that 65% of our students scored at least a 3 on, scored a 3 on at least one of their writing assignments. For the fall English courses, 130 and 131, we wanted to see 60% of our students receive a 2 or better on their reflective writing assignments. The data shows that 78% of those students were scored a 2 or better. And for our English 132 class that's held in the spring, we wanted to see 60% of our students receive a score of 2 or better on reflective writing assignments. The data shows that 64% of our students were scored at least a 2 or better. So kudos to our English and our orientation first year experience faculty members for their dedication and their commitment to our students and what they do with our students in the classroom, as well as their commitment to the QEP, because we are seeing, according to the data, that the writing scores and writing skills for our students is improving. So kudos. Next slide, please. Outcome number 3 addresses our student success labs. We want our students to utilize campus resources and supports. Specifically, we collected data on our student success labs that you also recognize and know as the academic labs. The target was for 50% of our students to utilize the student success labs at least 5 hours during the fall term. And the data shows that, less than 1% of our students utilize the student success labs. So again, remember, we implemented this during the campus shutdown. So everything had to go virtual. So that means that students would have had to access supplemental instruction and tutoring virtually. Dr. Vaughn and her team were very diligent in sending out campaigns to encourage students, to give them instruction on how to access those tutors, but we just did not see the numbers or the participation that we wanted to see. However, we didn't want to make any major changes. We feel like this is a very important outcome. We believe that the Student Success Labs is a very important and vital resource to our first year students that they should be exposed to. So we didn't want to make any changes, and we wanted to see what the data would say during the second year when students had the option of coming back to campus and actually visiting the labs physically. Next slide, please. Okay, outcome 4. All right. So outcome 4, we wanted, I'm sorry, just want to make sure we were in the right spot. We wanted our students to increase their connection to ASU by identifying a career path and selecting a major by the end of their freshman year. There were 2 targets for this outcome. Those 2 targets we did not meet. We wanted to see 70% of our students participate in a focus to career assessment, which is used as a guidance or as a tool for students to actually identify and select their major. The data shows that 22% of our students actually participated in that assessment. We also want to see 10% of our freshman students declare their major by the end of their freshman year. And the data shows that 7.5% of our students actually declared a major, moved out of university college at the end of their first year. So as a team, we talked about this and identified that there may be several different reasons why we did not see the percentage of students increase in regards to changing, or I'm sorry, declaring their major at the end of their first year. Some students had to take developmental courses. Some students had academics performance issues, and these are all factors that may cause some students to be ineligible to change their majors because they don't meet the requirements to do so. Also, we identified that there were some obstacles in the process of changing your majors here at ASU, but the departments who actually oversee that area have already begun working on improvements to streamline the process and make it simpler for students to actually change their major. Okay, next slide, please. All right, at the end of each semester, we administer a QEP satisfaction survey to survey students on their attitudes, perceptions, and opinions of their first year experience here at Alabama State University. And that survey has several different questions on there, but I just wanted to highlight 2 of them for you. We wanted to know how helpful the first year experience course was to our students in transitioning them from high school to college. And 90% of our students said that the course was helpful, with about 30% of them stating that it was extremely helpful. Another thing that we wanted to know is how satisfied students were with their overall experience in the course. Again, 90% of the students said that they were satisfied, with about 30% saying that they were extremely satisfied. So again, kudos to the orientation first year experience faculty who are making those connections with our students when they come to ASU, making them feel like they belong and making them want to continue their education and persist on here at Alabama State University. Next slide, please. So one thing that we strive to do is to keep the campus community engaged in what we're doing with the QEP and its initiatives. So there are just a couple of activities that I would like to highlight at this time. First, we recorded an awareness video, music video that highlights the major components of our quality enhancement plan. This was a challenge for us to do because we had to adhere to all of the COVID protocols, campus COVID protocols, and it was in the middle of July, so we had to deal with the hot Alabama heat as well. But it was a rewarding experience for the quality enhancement plan as well as for our students. We were able to cast students from our theater, Department of Theater Arts. We had a cameo appearance from Stinger, our mascot, and there's an appearance from our athletic department, our student athletes, football players, basketball players, as well as our cheer team. So we appreciate them collaborating with us, the Department of Athletics and Department of Theater, Visual and Performing Arts, along with others here on campus to make that happen. Also, we hold 2 virtual events each semester to highlight the initiatives of our QEP. One is a virtual Jeopardy game in which our athletes participate in. They seem to have a really good time, and we have watched the chat, and we know that some staff members have joined in to watch those sessions live as well. And we also have like a QEP town hall, if you will, where the president is involved with that, and we actually present the goals and the objectives of the QEP to our new students that are coming to ASU and our campus community. Next slide, please. So looking to the future, spring 22. Next slide, please. We are currently in year 2 of implementation, but I want to highlight some things that we are actually doing, excuse me, this spring. So during the first year of implementation, our Common Core Reader, which is an initiative of the QEP that's implemented in our English 132 course, our Common Core Reader for the first year was Just Mercy, written by Brian Stevenson. This year, the Common Core Reader voted on and selected by faculty is Mend by Koya Maples, who from my understanding is an Alabama native. So we're collaborating with all those that you see on the screen, the Department of Health Science, the College of Health Sciences, the Office of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, the Lyceum Committee, the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, the Department of Languages and Literatures, as well as our Levi Watkins Learning Center, to plan several co-curricular activities that will accompany this initiative in the classroom. One of the things that we're planning on doing is a field trip, depending on COVID and how that treats us this semester, downtown to the Mothers of Gynecology monuments. We are looking at having a Chat and Chew Brown Bag series that will be hosted by the College of Health Sciences. And there are several activities planned to support this initiative and this Common Core read for our students in the classroom. Next slide, please. So as I stated earlier, there was going to be one target that I would discuss, and it is the removal of the Hornet experience from our quality enhancement plan. The Hornet experience was one of those initiatives that we wanted to do to help keep our students connected to the resources that we provide here on campus. But it proved to be very ambitious, and we knew that our quality enhancement plan was very ambitious, but we knew that we had what it took to be successful. However, when it was time to actually implement this particular initiative, we decided that we needed to take it out. Again, it was something that would have been implemented in the English 132 course. However, the English 132 course is a research course, and we didn't want to add another element that would take away from the focus and the purpose of the course. So we just focused in on the Common Core Reader and allow the English faculty to hone in on those course objectives, those student learning outcomes, because they were more easily embedded into the course rather than adding another element that had to do with students attending different activities and actually submitting those writing assignments in class. All right, next slide. All right, so in closing, I want to take an opportunity to thank all of those who have had their hand and participated in developing and implementing our quality enhancement plan. I want to send a special shout out to our English faculty, as well as our first year experience faculty for the work that they do with our students in the classroom. Special shout out to Ms. Ovis and the support that she provides for us when it comes to faculty training and development for the quality enhancement plan, as well as Dr. Dung for helping us analyze data, and our colleagues in institutional effectiveness and institutional research to help us collect and analyze data. Again, there will be a detailed impact report that will be available to the campus community within the next several weeks. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me via email or by phone. And that is the end